Yo, what's up guys, it's Rpcsx here. Finally, today is the day where we'll be testing out the original God of War 3 PS3 game on our Android devices inside the Rpcsx Emulator. Now, I'm not talking about the demo version of God of War 3, I'm talking about the original game, and finally, in the newest version of Rpcsx PS3 Emulator for Android, I think we can now run this game without any issues. So here you guys will be able to see I have already imported the God of War 3 PS3 game, and what we'll do is tap on these three lines, go to settings and apply the best settings for best amount of performance possible and FPS. So here we'll just go to advanced settings, go to core, make sure to set the PPU decoder as recompiler, PPU threads as 2, afterwards scroll down until you see the preferred SPU threads. Here make sure to set the SPU threads level to 2, SPU block size as safe. Once that has been done in terms of video settings, make sure to set the resolution as 720 by 480p for lower resolution and better performance. Afterwards MSAA, make sure to disable this option. Make sure to enable write color buffers, write depth buffer as well as read color and write depth buffer. Afterwards scroll down until you find the stretch to display area option and make sure to turn it on. Afterwards when you scroll down, you will be able to see a resolution scaling option. Now here you will be able to downscale the resolution all the way up to 25%. I wouldn't recommend 25%, I would go with 50% around in today's video. So this is half the resolution from the resolution that we have already chosen. So the graphics won't be that good, but as we want the best amount of performance possible and a playable gameplay experience, we'll need to do that. Scroll down to the end, go to the Vulkan section and make sure to enable the force FIFO present mode. This is very important or else you will face issues with graphical output. You can also scroll down and enable turbo mode if you want to, but for today's video we'll keep it disabled. Once that has been done, go to the audio section where in terms of renderer, make sure to set it as null. This means that there won't be any kind of audio output while emulating this PS3 game, but it will also make sure that you get most amount of performance possible. Now that we have applied the best settings, let me tell you guys that Rpcsx is basically a PlayStation 3 emulator for Android, and I have already made a dedicated video talking about how to set up this emulator on Android. You guys will be able to watch that video on the iCard above. Now that everything is out of the way, I have already imported my God of War game inside this emulator, so let's just go ahead and tap on it and try it out for the first time. I have never tested out this game before, so this is actually my first time officially opening this game, and when you open this game for the first time, you will need to wait until the compiling PPU models has been completed. Now this process will take good amount of time depending device to device. If you have a low-end Android device, it will take lot of time, but if you have a good flagship Android device like the one which I have right here, Realme GT 7 Pro with Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, it shouldn't take that long. I think it will be done in 1 to 2 minutes. So I'll be back once this process has been completed. And here we go guys, after 30 seconds compiling PPU models was completed. So now the next step is building SPU cache, and this completes super fast on my flagship Android device. So here we go, finally here's the moment of truth. We are about to play the original God of War PS3 game on our Android devices. I am so excited. I never thought this day would come where I'll be able to play God of War 3, seriously God of War 3 native emulation. Now before I get too excited, let me calm myself down. Now guys, for some reason I have tried out opening God of War 3 multiple times with different settings, but after the Sony Computer Entertainment presents, literally I don't see the intro of God of War 3, I am just seeing a black screen. Now the version of God of War 3 that I am using might be at play. I am unsure, but it might also be because of the graphics driver which this Android device has. So basically, it does not have a turnip graphics driver. Snapdragon 8 Elite has its own Adreno 8 series graphics driver which might not be compatible with God of War 3 inside the Rpcsx emulator. But what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and exit this game and make sure to stop it and try out God of War 3 demo version for namesake with the best settings that we have applied to see how much performance gain can we get. Because before we used to get about 10 to 20 FPS while emulating this game, but now let's find out how much FPS can we actually get. To be honest guys, I am very disappointed from the fact that I was able to literally add God of War 3 original game on my Android device, and I have even seen it working on many other devices, whereas just on my Android device it didn't want to work. But here we go, God of War 3 demo has started, so let's press the X button and immediately I am able to see that the game is running much better. As I mentioned, we used to get like 10 to 20 FPS, so it used to be around 10-15 FPS, and it seems that still even in the latest version of Rpcsx Emulator, I guess only the demo version is playable, unfortunately. Now I had to remove all the shaders guys. This is just like playing it for the first time because I want to show you the honest gameplay experience of how it will be to run God of War 3 PS3 game on your Android device, because when you play it for the first time it will compile shaders all the time. No matter how you progress through the storyline, it will be compiling shaders, which means that this is an honest representation of the performance that you will get while emulating this game on your Android device. It is true that once all the shaders are compiled, your performance will be a lot better, but still at this moment you will be able to see even the on-screen touch controls are not working properly. But you'll be able to see it does work properly without any issues. As you guys can see, sometimes there will be graphical issues, but now that we have lowered our graphics resolution to almost 480p and then changed the graphics resolution scaling to 50%, there is indeed an improvement. But here we go, once we come to another demanding area, you will be able to see the game has slowed down. Even though the FPS is showing us 90 to 20 FPS, that's not a proper representation of the FPS which we are getting. And you will be able to see there are graphical issues here and there, even though we have enabled all the read and write color buffer options. You guys can see we also got an Rpcsx encountered memory issue pop up at the top, but still you will be able to see our game is running successfully without any issues. So is it worth it? In my opinion, nope. It's not worth it at all unless you have a flagship Android device. On low-end Android devices, realistically speaking, I have to say you gotta wait at least 3-4 years. Because the low-end devices in future will be the only devices capable who can emulate this game at least 10 to 15 FPS, but the low-end devices of today have literally zero chance. And finally, some interactive gameplay. Here we go, lots of graphical issues again, but once the shaders are compiled, these graphical issues will go away. As you'll be able to see, now the graphical output is actually working. So let's move forward and see what happens next. You'll be able to see the cutscene is being rendered properly and everything works without any issues. Compiling shaders, there we go. And now we can progress further in this demo gameplay, and there we have it, the game has 4 stopped. So yeah guys, that was the God of War 3 testing on our Android devices inside the Rpcsx Emulator. I am still sad that the original game did not work, but I guess that's life. We'll be back with the brand new updates of Rpcsx Emulator, and hopefully next time this game will 100% work.